Hello everybody and welcome to the channel. It's Paulie ESTHER here, and this is my second YouTube channel called Paulie Pops, where I make videos about my hobby of collecting these Funko Pop figures you see here behind me. And well, yesterday we woke up to a bit of a snowfall, and I thought that maybe it was going to be too much to go driving anywhere. I live here in Canada, and in inclement weather I try to drive as little as possible, especially far distances. But my wife said that she thought it was going to get milder during the day and much of it would turn into slush or even melt, and that she didn't think the driving would be too bad. So I said, oh, do you think we can go to Vaughan? So Vaughan is a suburb north of Toronto, and they have a really big, fancy, highfalutin mall over there called Vaughan Mills, where you see people lining up outside to get in the Lululemon store and the Kate Spade store. Very popular mall. And they have a flagship Toys R Us connected to the mall there. Pretty big one. And that store has a very large Funko presence. I've showed pictures of it in the past, maybe a year or two ago. A lot of store display information regarding Funko. Very big section. And invariably, whenever you see Funko News Canada report, this is showing up at Toys R Us, this is showing up at Toys R Us, it's always at Vaughan. Vaughan gets everything. I don't know why. Vaughan gets the most product, the product first. They just do. I don't know if they're located close to Toys R Us warehouse or what the story is, but even figures that aren't available online are available at Vaughan. I don't know why. You would think that online would be first and they would want to sell it across country, but no, they're pretty. Toys R Us seems pretty satisfied just sell a glut of product out of Vaughan. So my wife said, sure, let's go. So we drove up to Vaughan and we got to the Toys R Us, and I was amazed at the amount of figures. I was hopeful that some of the things I had seen reported on Funko News Canada would still be there, but the multitude of figures I saw and the quantity that they had were just staggering. So let me show you what I got here. So first thing, we walked in, right as you walk in the door, we were met by a four-way aisle display full of Funko Pops on all four sides, and one side had these light and sound figures. You'll remember I ordered this one from Pop Culture, but they put a pin in it and it dented the whole top of the box. I wound up opening that one, and yeah, so I was like, okay, I had every intention of replacing it to get a nice box, and they had it right there. And not only that, but the price of this figure was $16.99 Canadian. Now, these were $18 on the Funko Shop US, which at today's exchange rate converts to about $24 Canadian. So to see this sitting there for $16.99, which by the way is the price they charge for the everyday common pop that's not an exclusive, let alone light and sounds, I was like, well, that's an instant buy. So not only did I get that light and sounds, but I also bought this figure, Light and Sounds Flash, for $16.99. I had this one in my cart at Pop Culture, and I was just waiting to route out a whole order, but I guess I can take this one out now. $16.99 is just crazy for these. I'm pretty sure these were even $24 on the Pop Culture website. So, gosh, what a deal. Then I saw on the other sides of the four-way, they had a whole side that was Steve from Blue's Clues, a whole side that was Vecna and Vecna, the Stranger Things version, and the Dungeons and Dragons version, and they had the Stranger Things Joyce and Hopper 2-pack in a double Protecto, and then let's see, what else did they have there? The whole side of the Free Guy, starring Ryan Reynolds, which I think, you know, is a little past the mark. That movie's come and gone, so kind of strange the timing of that. It might have been because of these distribution delays that they had wanted to have the Free Guy ready a little closer to the movie release. But anyway, so I got a Borat off of that four-way too. This is New York City Comic Con. I already have this one, but I thought I wouldn't mind to have an extra one of these. This was a pretty popular figure. So I got an extra Borat, again, $16.99, which is crazy for convention exclusives. Toys R Us normally charges like $20 for convention exclusives. And then I got this Ted Lasso. This is from San Diego, the summer convention, San Diego Comic Con. And this was the very last one that they had of Ted Lasso. And you could see why, because there's a big dent here in the box. So had this not been dented, I do not believe this would have been there anymore, because this figure is selling anywhere between $50 and $75 Canadian on eBay. This is arguably the most expensive figure from San Diego Comic-Con. This one has legs. And I saw this was on Funko News Canada. This was the one I was hoping would still be left around there. And I just saw the one and I saw the box damage and I said, well, you can get it for $16.99 with this dent in the side, or you can pay $50 to $75 on eBay. And I just decided, well, not only is it good, it's good enough. So I took the last Ted Lasso home with me. And then I also got the very, the last one in the series. They had plenty of these, but not the last one, but the last one in the series of these. Jeffrey the giraffe in the Harry Potter colors. So this is the Gryffindor Jeffrey. That's the very last one in that set. So I have 3 of all of these now. All of the Jeffreys, I have at least 3 of each, just to put some away, because these are Toys R Us Canada exclusives. I mean, you know, we don't have Toys R Us in the US, really. There's supposed to be some flagship stores opening next year. There are some sections in Macy's stores that have a little Toys by Toys R Us, and they do have that one Macy's holiday sweater, Jeffrey, which I'd really like to get that. We don't have that one in Canada. That's a Macy's exclusive. I'd like to get that, Jeffrey. But I have all 4 of the Harry Potter Jeffreys in multiples. And then I also got this Black Adam Funko Shop exclusive. I couldn't remember. I was like, did I order this one from Pop Culture or didn't I? Because I'm confused with the glow-in-the-dark versions and the movie versions. This is just the regular comic book version of Black Adam. And I do have this, but I don't think mine has the Funko Shop sticker. I think mine has the special edition sticker. So I bought this one in duplicate by mistake, but I'm not too upset about it. And then I got the Disney Villains trains. Now these have some weight to them, and when I first saw them, they were marked underneath at $26.99. I said, oh, here we go. Because last year when they had the Nightmare Before Christmas trains, the Toys R Us ones were marked $24.99, and everybody else had them at the price of a regular pop, which was basically double. So I never bought any of the ones at Toys R Us. And I said, here we go again. They're going to have all of these, and they're going to be you know, priced out of my range. But I had the gal at the cash scan it for me and it came up $16.99, which I wanted to make sure that I knew what I was paying, because Funko Pops are no longer returnable at Toys R Us, which is probably a good thing, considering all of the potential fraud there would be for the amount of figures that are showing up at Dollarama for $5 and people could return them without receipt for store credit at Toys R Us. If Toys R Us was taking returns on Pops, it would be a disaster. So I wanted to make sure I wasn't paying $24.99 and cash out and then look at my bill and go, oh, that's more than I wanted, and try to return it. So I made sure that these were $16.99, just like everything else. And so this is the Villains train. Maleficent is the conductor. They didn't have the train there, but they had the 4 cars. They all connect. These are like the weight of double the weight of a Funko Pop with the cart and everything. They're very heavy. So there's Captain Hook in cart, and then we have Ursula from The Little Mermaid in cart. This one isn't quite as heavy. Captain Hook is very heavy. Cruella is also a heavy one. Cruella de Vil from 101 Dalmatians, and these have the, I think these are all Funko Shop exclusives, if I'm not mistaken, that they have these in the shop. But these are the blue international stickers, which I think those look nice. And then finally, also not quite as heavy, the Evil Queen in the cart. Her cart's shaped like the poison apple from Snow White. That's pretty cool. So I've never seen these in person. I did see the Cruella on the website, which just shows you what I'm trying to say about how Vaughn is ahead of the website. They only have Cruella on the website, but in store at Vaughn, they have the whole set, minus the train, but all 4 cards. So it's very unusual why Vaughn is getting this special treatment because of the flagship store or whatnot. But, you know, it's not too far for me, and it's not next door, but not too far for me to get down there. And then behind the cash, they had a bunch of, like, dozens of these. They had they had dozens and dozens of these all over the shelves. It was the amount of stock they have in there is just amazing and mind-boggling compared to my local Toys R Us, which I can get there in about 5 minutes. But gosh, the section must have been 5 times the amount of product in Vaughn and what they have at my local Toys R Us, maybe more. Quite a bit to go through, dozens and dozens of each figure, and a lot of exclusives that, you know, I haven't been able to find at all, and they just had them laying there, like the diamond Mr. DNA from Jurassic Park. No problem, it's just sitting there on the shelf. I couldn't believe it. So much stuff. If you happen to live in Canada near Vaughan, I suggest you go look over there if you're a Funko Pop collector, because they have so much. Then behind the cash, they had the samurai from One Piece, and they had 3 of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle crossover pops with the Power Rangers. They had Shredder and 2 of the Turtles. I don't remember who it was. That's not a line that interests me at all, but those are all convention pieces. But what they did have that I wanted from the back, also a San Diego Comic-Con piece. Remember, this convention happened in July, and this stuff's just starting to show up. So this is the Young Hee doll from Squid Game, the red light, green light girl. This one I really wanted. This was one that I was also hoping would still be there. And they had maybe a dozen behind the shelf, behind the counter, and on request. So I asked the gal at the cash to give me one. And the first one, I looked it over, and it had a razor knife mark right down the top through the middle, where someone was aggressively carton cutting when they opened the outer box to get these out. They just zipped right through the lid. So I said, yeah, can I get another one? So she, you know, I don't know how she felt about that. She was probably like, oh, these collectors, I don't know. But she got me another one, and then this one was nice, and I said, yeah, I'll take this one. So this was $30 because it's, you know, that larger, oversized pop here. I'll show you the difference. It's quite a bit bigger. So I do think this one will probably go on clearance, but I really wanted it to go with the Squid Game. All the Squid Game stuff seems like it's going on clearance everywhere. I'm actually wondering if it wouldn't be a terrible idea to pick up some of the Squid Game clearance for when Season 2 comes out, if there'll be a resurgence, but there is so much of the Squid Game. I just feel like, no, it probably isn't a good idea. Maybe we'll watch this back one day and go, well, that didn't age well. Maybe the Squid Games will take off. But I think there's just so much on clearance that they still won't appreciate enough when Season 2 comes out. Make it worthwhile to pick them up. I don't know. We'll see. But I'm sitting on my hands. I'm not going to pick up any Squid Game extras. Very happy to have this one, though. There's supposed to be another wave of Squid Game coming out as well, but I don't know. I mean, I've heard rumors. I've even seen pictures of suggested prototypes of Squid Game Wave 2, but I don't know. Seems like maybe they have dialed that back considering how much Squid Game glut of product there is out there. So what do we have? 6, and then there's 2 exclusives. So there's 8 base figures, this oversized one, and then there's supposed to be another Wave 2 coming out, but who knows if that's going to happen. But most of these, find them on clearance fairly easily. So my Dollarama stores have them even. So they aren't for $1. They're $5 at Dollarama, right? But it's better than $16.99 regular price. Anyway, so those were my findings at Toys R Us. Not really much in the rest of the mall. They do have other locations that have pops in the mall, such as GameStop and Hot Topic, but I didn't see anything there. So, but I was very, very happy to have made the trip to Toys R Us and get exclusives that I've been waiting on. I think the only San Diego Comic-Con figure that I'm still looking for is Peacemaker. I just can't find it. Pop Culture won't ship that one to Canada. It's on regional restrictions. They can't ship it to me. Otherwise, I would have ordered it long ago. I love the Peacemaker series on HBO. I really want that San Diego Comic-Con one. I'll get it eventually. But yeah, they didn't have it. That's the last thing I'm waiting to show up at Toys R Us, because Toys R Us is supposed to be the Canadian distributor of it. But who knows? I mean, it took, since July to have Young Hee and Ted Lasso show up, so I haven't given up hope. I didn't think Ted Lasso was coming at all, because when I saw the aftermarket prices on these, I just said, well, good luck. We're never getting that, because they have to be instant sellers, all the scalpers who see them and know they can get between $50 and $75 on eBay. Why would you ever leave this on the shelf? Even with the box damage, I'm shocked it was there, but I'm happy it was. So I don't know, maybe we'll see Peacemaker soon. Fingers crossed. All right, well, that's all I have for today. Thank you so very much for watching. As always, I appreciate the time that you spend here with me on my channel. And we'll see you next time. Have a great day, everybody. Happy holidays. Bye-bye.